Mr. Derek Veenhoff, who's better known as Deek.
Drinking liquor with DJ Deek, we out laughing.
Yo, Deek.
Hey everybody, what's up guys? It's me and Jesse.
Hello.
Jesse Ingelevics.
What's up?
My neighbor, a new friend, and former drummer of the band Alexisonfire. Yeah, and other things too. He's a person with all kinds of hobbies and interests. Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We've been trying to do this for a year. We're finally here.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. It's November 2020. Mr. Joseph Biden Jr. just beat out Trump in America. And Alex Trebek just passed away.
I recently
just like half an hour ago I saw that. So rest in peace to him. Just got sort of back into Jeopardy this past year. It's been kind of fun. But then we know, of course, he had this battle with cancer, right?
Yeah.
Pancreatic cancer, I believe.
Yeah, he lived a long, interesting life.
Freaking 80 years. And you had Sean Connery last week pass away. It was also in his 80s, no? Or something. Was he 80?
Don't know.
Whatever he was. He was up there, too. Rest in peace to him as well. So, Jesse, man, tell us your life story from the beginning.
Let's go. I was born and raised in Toronto, Ontario, up until the ripe old age of 9, and I moved to this beautiful Niagara region, and I've called it home ever since. I love it here.
Tune in next time, man, for no, that's cool. Okay, so you were born in Toronto. So do you have a lot of memories of Toronto growing up, or most of your memories is
quite a few? Yeah, no, I have very fond memories of Toronto. I call it home, but I call St. Catharines in that Niagara region home more so.
Right.
All my family grew up in my dad's side grew up in Toronto, and my mom just north of Toronto. So we have fond memories there.
Cool. So when did you first start drumming, or was drumming your first instrument?
Drumming was my first instrument after taking note of my older brother and his love of music, which spanned from piano, guitar, keyboard, drums.
How much older is he?
He is a year and a half.
Okay.
So as the younger brother, I was very interested in everything he was doing and took a lot of interest. And it was a big influence on me. But I picked up the drums in grade 5 through the school music program, the Lincoln County Board of Education. And I had a very fantastic teacher, instructor, Mr. Mike Phelan, who is still teaching.
Cool.
And giving great instruction all over the region for students.
So do you know what, other than your brother playing, do you know what drew you to the drum, like percussion and that, or other than that, or is it just was fun to smash stuff?
Yeah, you got Animal from the Muppets.
True.
I like being behind the scenes as well.
Right.
It's cool to have the attention of being in a band and playing for people. I thought that was always an awesome thing to want to do, but I didn't want to be the one in the complete spotlight, I guess.
Right.
So sitting behind the drums, you can kind of hide a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of the glue as well in the band. You and the bass, kind of the glue of the beat, but you don't have to take all that pressure of sort of being up front.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Drums was also my first, just because my dad played and he had a drum set in the garage.
Perfect.
So I was like 10 or 11.
I had a bunch of friends whose like older brothers or parents had drums. Actually, just down the street, over on Jones, my buddy's Corey's father had a drum kit.
Oh, nice.
And we banged around that all the time. And I didn't get a kit until I was actually, I think I was maybe 13.
Yep.
13 years old. I actually got a drum kit. Been playing for a few years, and it just let loose after that.
Cool. So
opened up the doors.
So then, how does Alexisonfire start? I'm sure you had bands before then.
Yeah, we had a whole lot of bands that played in the same scene in high school downtown. There were a few venues.
Red Square.
Pre-Red Square.
Pre-Red Square.
There were a few venues.
Yeah.
Venues, I'm going to say.
Right.
We turned into venues.
Oh,
these restaurants. So
yeah.
they're not there anymore. but you have the Kingwa Court that was under the Leonard Hotel, which is not the Leonard Hotel anymore. It is apartments above the Lost and Found restaurant and 20 eatery and bar.
Okay, the basement, I DJ'd there for a while last year or two years ago.
It was the restaurant set at the back off of Carlisle.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cool basement spot.
It wasn't in the basement either.
Oh, that was.
We played the main floor.
Oh, I see.
We'd load in as people were eating their buffet, their Chinese food dinner.
Right.
And we would kind of put our stuff to the side. We'd be 14, 15.
Right.
We'd have, an all-ages show planned, but we'd wait for the last people to be done their food. They'd move to the big screen TV, and we'd get the stage going.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, all that, because, like, now in St. Catharines we have the Meridian Center and all these different things, of course, but back then, like you said, there literally wasn't really any venues. Like when I mentioned the Red Square, I didn't even really go there, but I went to the Hideaway a couple times. I didn't actually see Alexis at the Hideaway. I think I missed the shows, but I saw like Casting Opus and Sleepers at Sail and all those bands, whatever.
That's
back
when
then.
Bedlam Society started.
All that stuff.
All their shows and.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So what do you think about like the landscape now in Niagara? How it just happens over time, I guess. Now there's a lot of venues and stuff, but
yeah, it goes in waves, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's really nice to have the Warehouse available.
Yeah, that's a sweet venue as well.
Yeah,
shout out to the Warehouse.
I just heard that they're going to be having some concerts there, I believe, coming up. But I don't know enough information yet on that. It just caught my eye somewhere, and I haven't read into it, but it's been tough for live music over this past year, as everybody knows.
Makes sense. Coronavirus.
Yeah. I hope everyone can stay safe and be able to enjoy a live atmosphere while still being expressive and accommodating and entertaining. It's
safe.
It's difficult. It's difficult for everybody.
Oh, definitely.
So,
but
great job to everyone who can do that.
Now, so Alexis forming, was it just a group of friends, or was there casting calls to join a band in the newspaper?
We got off topic pretty easily.
Hey, so that's what this podcast is about.
Back here for. That's good.
That's what it's about.
We had the bands that all played around the local Kingwa Court.
Yep.
Palm Grove, music scene. Where else did we play? They're just basement shows, just parties. High schools, all that, wherever we could, we'd play. Actually, Mind Bomb records taken from Mind Bomb bar back in the day, and it was a music venue.
Oh, okay.
My brother-in-law and good friend Chris used to be a bartender at the Mind Bomb. So
that's like a shout out to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris takes it from there.
Interesting.
That's his background. That's his life. So it's amazing. It was a great place. It was where I used to actually go to see a lot of really cool punk bands and out-of-town bands when I was just getting into the music scene and growing up. It was all ages. People still smoked inside. I would be stinky going home at midnight, 2 in the morning, whenever I could hustle a curfew out of my parents.
Right. So you'd also have the cigarette smell all the time back then. Even if you didn't smoke, you might have that cigarette.
Just reeking of cigarettes.
Oh, that's interesting.
I remember taking off my hoodie, just hanging it up in the corner on my coat tree, and my bedroom smelling completely like smoke.
But you were smoking cigarettes, or you weren't?
I wasn't.
You wasn't.
It appeared as though.
Exactly. It might have smelt as so.
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, maybe to some of my friends' parents, I was the one who smoked cigarettes.
Right. Because you were always at these shows.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm just saying that because I was blamed a few times.
Yeah.
It was Jesse who smoked. That's why I have these cigarettes.
So when was the moment where you guys were like, okay, so you formed a band, you played around, and then
we had a few bands called. I'll give you a little bit of a background on the names. We had Uptight, who was a ska punk band from Sir Winston.
Yeah.
I played trombone for a brief moment in that band. That was great. We had The Band. That was a punk band I was in with a couple of friends from Collegiate, BANNED.
Okay, because the band was already taken.
The band was
already
taken.
Yeah. True.
They did it first. And they did it well. Kudos to them. Love them. We had Plan 9. Also, that was a Governor Simcoe Sir Winston band, started by Wade McNeil, my co-bandmate.
Yep.
I was going to say co-forming. I won't say it forming, but like, it was when the other bands all kind of dissolved. I wasn't doing anything. Other people were playing in bands that weren't, I guess, really up to their liking for certain reasons anymore, and things had to be changed. Wade came to me asking if I would play drums, and he somehow had spoke to Dallas, got him in the mix, found George Pettit from Grimsby, Chris Steele over there playing bass with them from playing 9 and After the Hallowed Moment, and it all just came to in a band practice or 2 or 3 on 2 Gerrard Street, up in the corner, making a lot of noise for the whole street.
And you guys were just at some point like, you know what, this is sick. Like this.
We just wanted to be loud and noisy and bring all of our influences together at the same time.
Yeah.
Without an idea of what we wanted to sound like. That was
true.
the best.
So it was a true natural hybrid sort of all those styles.
I believe one of the only things that was set in place was there was going to be singing and there was going to be screaming. That was that was something that was wanted, the juxtaposition.
Yes, I have a lot of questions about this. So, like, if you look you guys up on Wikipedia and that, it's called post-hardcore. Is that, I know it's hard to define the genre, but there's the names that they throw out there, sort of emo, screamo, post-hardcore.
Yeah, there's
something punk, like
punk.
type of punk almost.
It's all.
So was that what you guys were doing? Was that, even from in your guys' mind, was that totally unique at that point, or were there other bands that were mixing those singing styles?
Definitely not unique, but
because I had never heard.
We were doing it in our own way. We were just doing the loud, aggressive, give it your all, balls to the walls, just.
So what would you say is an example of a band that was doing the lighter singing with the screaming singing? Before you guys.
Influences for myself personally in that aspect of music would come from the band Thursday.
Okay.
I really
sounds
familiar.
Up
to Thursday. They're from New Jersey.
Okay.
And they had put a few albums out around the early 2000s already, and had been signed to a major label, which brought them to the attention of a lot more people. I went to see them play quite a few times in Buffalo, which was amazing. Back when we could easily.
So you must have seen them. When you're talking about influences, then you must have seen them in the late '90s, because you guys came out already in 2001, 2000, whatever.
It'd probably be '99 or 2000, somewhere around that time that I would have had a chance to see them. But yeah, right over the border, 45-minute drive to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to be able to see bands. Thrice was another one doing it.
Okay.
I saw them actually before I even knew who they were, and it just blew me away. These 4 guys making amazing melodic hardcore punk music.
Yeah.
And I was standing 5 feet away from them.
True.
it was great. So those bands, they were influenced by others. Other people have been doing it in that way, but I guess we found our own and wanted to just go as far as we could with it. Yeah,
I mean, as a listener, I think I was like 13, 14 maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was clearly something different. I know, like, they also cite like Billy Talent as sort of to compare you guys as far as Canadian bands with that rough sound. I wouldn't say that you guys sound similar. There's very stark differences.
They're great friends. Of Alexisonfire.
Nice.
I
just do shows together or tour together.
We came up in the same time they were recording their album.
Yeah.
When we were recording our first album, we became friends through.
Run into each other at the studio and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, we were both with EMI Publishing.
Okay.
So we saw each other regularly, became
Toronto?
friends.
You guys record in Toronto? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd cross paths. We actually did our first cross Canada tour, co-headlining with Billy Talent, and it was amazing. We brought. Who else did we bring along on that tour? I'm trying to think.
DMX
was there. Yeah.
Limp Bizkit was there.
Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst.
Yep.
Death from Above, 1979.
Yeah, they're a sweet band
It
too.
was those boys.
I remember
That
when
was my first,
they broke up or whatever,
meeting.
and I saw them when they got back together,
Yeah.
which was at Edge Fest.
Yeah, they're
And,
fantastic. Meeting them and seeing them for the first time on that tour was great. So a lot of influences as well are bands that I grew up listening to and got a chance to meet and play with. Hopes Fall, that's another band that I was greatly influenced by, and we had a chance to do a lot of touring with them in the early time of Alexisonfire, going out east, doing Quebec shows, Ottawa, London, Montreal, Quebec City is what we'd generally go out and do, Trois-Rivières. It was fantastic times, and those guys were a big musical influence on us.
Nice.
Myself especially. They recently got back together, put out a new album 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Good for them.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, you guys got fans all over Canada, obviously. We got some listeners of the show from Edmonton that are big fans.
That was always a favorite place to go.
Yep. Shout out Cam, Rosie. You know, there's a bunch of fans all over Canada, obviously. What was your fan base like? How would you describe the fan base that sort of grew? Was it just your typical sort of rock and roll punk fans, or was there just a mix? Because it was unique
everybody.
stuff.
It was just dedicated people that were attached to our
What about age range? Older or younger too? Because
it would be everything. I remember,
I was going to say.
I remember connecting when the first album came out via email with a gentleman from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Who we sent a few emails back and forth. I believe he asked for the album, and I probably was able to get him a copy of it and just chat and just get to know him. His name was Joe Vance, and I think he was a music teacher, but that sticks in my mind, that man, and just chatting with him.
Mr. Vance from Philly.
However many years ago, if you're out there,
hit us up, man.
I'd love to chat again, see what you're doing, and just continue on musing about life.
I remember showing my dad the album back then, and like when it first came, the first album, and he liked it so much. It was so funny because he's like a big like Rush, Van Halen, kind of the Police, like all that 80s, 70s, 80s stuff. And he wasn't so much into the heavier stuff, and so it was interesting that he was like, I really like this mix of.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was so unique. So you toured with the band and played with the band for 2 albums.
Yes.
What was it, 2 years or 4 years?
It was just under 4 years, I believe that.
And then you left the band, and then a different drummer joined the band, and then they sort of more or less the roster stayed the same over the years, right? But then they split, and then they got back together, and they're together still.
Yeah.
Doing something now. Yeah.
I don't really talk to those gentlemen, but there's no ill blood towards anybody. I love them all. They're all my friends. They're all my family. But we just went our separate ways to go on and do things.
Yeah, so it just happens, right? Yeah. I mean, it's funny in the music industry and like pop culture, there's always like rumors or stories or feelings about like, you know, everyone has their things about Yoko Ono or whatever, right? Like different...
Well, I'll just confirm that I didn't die in an avalanche. I'm still here. I wasn't victim to an avalanche.
He's not a clone. This is the real Jesse.
Hey.
So far as we know. Yeah, no, that's interesting though, because briefly I was part of a band with some friends, and we weren't that big, but it's funny because it's hard to keep a band together, especially the more members you have. That's why it's so amazing when some of these popular bands have been touring for 30, 40 years now. Some of them are still together. Cause
it was always easy at the beginning to have three members, bass, drums, guitar, one person sings. That was always the easiest to get together. But then you want to expand your sound a little bit. You want to do a few different things and get more of a roster change to maybe expand in that way. Yeah. And then you're waiting on people not following through on a practice or or any number of reasons. We're all guilty of anything in that matter, I'm sure, but it's tough to find dedication. I mean, even myself, lately, it's been hard to dedicate time towards music again, as much as I really want to and have ideas. It's just hard to get in the room and find myself to be motivated or having that creativity flow. So
yeah.
it's been more visual art lately, which I'm really interested in seeing where that goes. But the music is definitely still there. It's
the music never dies.
No.
Yeah, I feel that. There's definitely, I mean, me too, creatively, I have ebbs and flows. There's certain artists that probably can just never shut it off. You know, they just have the opposite of writer's block. And then there's some that, you know, just comes when it comes. And sometimes you just make crap for months at a time. And then you're like, what's going on here? And then you just find some sort of spark and you figure it out again.
When you have the right people to work with too, that really, really helps. So I know that my future endeavors, I've found a good person to work with. I'm very, very excited as to where this goes.
Cool.
So I'll keep you informed on that.
Yeah, for sure.
As things evolve, but right now,
whenever you form a band, you come back on and we'll do a live performance or something.
Two pieces, it's easy.
Two-piece band,
to fit in a,
like the White Stripes or something.
Yeah. Or Death from Above.
Oh yeah, see, that's crazy to me.
Lightning Bolt. Or just find
Simon and Garfunkel. But see, those guys always they have a band that plays with them and records with them, or session musicians.
Steely Dan.
They're two guys too.
With a band.
Steely
Dan is a band, but
But the only one that's real to me is White Stripes, because they actually perform with just two people. So, because don't a lot of them?
I never listened to a lot of the White Stripes.
No. I think you might like some.
I do like the White Stripes.
Yeah.
I'm not against.
If you do a deep dive into some of their
Jack White.
I'll say the first couple albums are my favorite.
I think I heard a rumor that somewhere out there is a piece of furniture with a Jack White album
inside of it,
because he used to have a
upholstery.
job as an upholsterer.
Yeah, in Detroit, right?
If that's where
he's from Detroit.
Then that's very interesting. So go and start ripping apart your old furniture.
Yeah, it could be in there.
You Detroit Jack White fans. See if you can find it.
Somebody said that Jack White is Tim Burton's version of John Mayer. Kind of could be kind of accurate, like little Tim Burtonized.
Interesting.
Maybe.
There's a really fantastic John Mayer live album.
He's awesome too. It's so good.
I think it's called Try. It features Pino Palladini on bass and Steve Jordan on drums. Fantastic.
Who are those gentlemen?
They are wonderful musicians.
Just guys that are good guys?
Yeah, I think they're session musicians.
Oh, cool.
They've been around for a long time. I don't know who else they play with. I believe Steve Jordan played with... No, he didn't play with who I was thinking of. He's just a fantastic drummer.
Cool.
He's played with everybody.
Nice.
Go look him up.
Go look him up, everybody, right now.
So again, but yeah, he's great.
So your drum set, are you like a 5,000 drum kit Neil Peart guy, Terry Bozzio,
spin around,
or are you like a
the
simple
electric acoustic?
Are
mix?
you somewhere in the middle?
I like to mix it up, but I'm pretty basic with the drum setup.
Cool.
One bass drum. I'm rocking a 24-inch kick right now, and an 18-inch floor tom, and a 13-inch high tom.
Just one high tom?
Just one.
Cool.
But I've recently added a second floor tom to my snare side, which is really fun.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to explore some things.
That's interesting.
With that setup for
now, also drumming, are you supposed to do crisscross applesauce hands, or can you drum like this? Because Phil Collins drums like this, I think.
You can drum however you want.
You can do whatever you want, right?
Whatever's comfortable.
Are there any rules in music?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just have fun.
There are. That's the only rule?
Just have fun.
Okay. But doesn't it... Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's the only rule in life. Just
good point.
Have fun. Be safe. Have fun. Be responsible.
There's rough guidelines, though.
Yeah. No, there are definitely.
As far as music theory and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I took music lessons and had a hard time with theory and reading music. I can do it. It's just not my specialty, I'll say, and I just really go by ear and just playing what I feel I can I can, feeling that I can accomplish, and then just exploring and adding on and innovating and just hearing other things and getting influenced by that. Like hearing a weird guitar beat and translating it into the drums and adapting it and changing it. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm all about.
Isn't that a common thing you hear, that a lot of the greatest musicians, don't really read or write? It's mostly they go by ear, and
I wish that I was better with musical theory.
Yeah.
And if I applied myself to it, I'm sure I could be.
Right.
But just diving in and playing, and
I'm the same way. I feel the same way. I feel like an idiot when it comes to theory. Like I got a friend of mine, Brandon. Hey, Brandon. He's we like to make beats together and stuff, and he's really good with theory. Like, he's always correcting my chord mistakes, or you should change this chord to this, or whatever it is, and change the structure here or whatever. And
my older brother is, like I said, a big influence musically to me, and he is a music teacher. He teaches music. He is phenomenal at everything he does musically. I love it.
That's
such
awesome.
A big influence on me. He is out in Montreal, and he's teaching right now, and he's doing the best he can in these COVID conditions.
Yeah.
I know that it's tough out there for everybody, so I'm just happy that he's doing well, and good luck to everybody. You're fantastic, all you teachers.
Yeah, I guess they could do virtual webcam stuff, right? Zoom and all that, because
there's both sides of it. So
it is funny that we have this technology available to us for the timing of it all. That we have this pandemic, but we also have Zoom is stable and everything, and it's popular and all that, and everybody can sort of have access to it. Compared to if it might have happened 10 or 20 years ago. It'd be very different.
Yeah.
So music, man. Music. What is music? Organized noise?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's just noise, right? That we like, that sounds good. Well, we got that one figured out.
I like when you can just feel the music.
Right? Like that movie, It's All Gone Pete Tong. I don't know if you know that film. It's a film about a DJ who goes deaf. And then it's all his struggles with addiction and different things. It's kind of like a Fear and Loathing or a Requiem for a Dream-ish kind of weird film. But he ends up producing and playing through his disability with his feet on the monitor.
That's really cool. Yeah, feeling everything.
Yeah. So it's kind of an uncomfortable movie to watch because of all the drug use and different things. But it's a pretty neat film. And that's true, though. The feeling, everybody feels music. The bass and the kick, are so important. And like I was saying earlier about you and the bass player, the drummer and the bass player typically have to have that going, right? They have to click, and they have to provide that boom.
Bass drum is one of my favorite drums. I will say.
Did you do the double kick a lot in Alexis, or is there none of that?
No, that is all single kick.
All those 32 16 note double kicking that goes on in the Slayer stuff and right,
I love that. It's just not my forte.
Sure.
I have a double kick pedal, and I love playing around with it.
It's difficult. I used to try that. I couldn't do it either.
I've incorporated it into some previous projects where it definitely fits, and it is awesome. It is a great tool if the music calls for it.
Sort of an aggressive driving.
It doesn't always need to be for aggressive music though either. Well, I see what you're saying, aggressive driving
the beat or something.
Yeah, but
it could be lighter.
It can double kick can be applied anywhere. It can be very tasteful if done well.
Yeah,
but it's a tricky one. I haven't spent enough time with it.
So Alexis didn't need that. It was fine without it.
No, I could. I knew John Bonham didn't use double kick, so I wanted to be able to emulate some of those kind of kick patterns and beats.
So you still might have done some of those types of patterns, but you're doing it with a single kick. So you just have to be a little quicker sometimes, maybe.
Then you got, crazy old Keith Moon with 2 bass drums.
That's what he had, eh?
Yeah, he didn't even have hi-hats.
What a weirdo.
The cymbals.
What a strange weirdo.
And the drums and everything. I just was listening to some Who last night. A great...
Who?
The Who.
Oh, cool.
The Who.
Yeah, they're great.
I picked up a wonderful record store day release back in October from Mindbomb Records, and it is a live recording from the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. The explosive set by The Who, 20 minutes, and they smash all their instruments at the end.
Right.
It's a fiery display of smoke and mirrors.
Now, that was one of their first performances, or no?
Don't know how early on in their career. No, not... Because I was 67. They were
around before that even?
I'm not sure when they formed, but it was early in their career.
But that was their shock factor, right? They were smashing everything. Yeah. Look, what are these guys doing?
So it's a great live record. And it comes pressed on amazing vinyl. White, blue, and red.
What?
It's kind of a... Ooh, I should have brought it.
You should have brought it.
Yeah. It's got it's not clear, not see-through. It's got the blue and the red and the white down the middle, all just melding together in a nice
cool.
way. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love vinyl. Thank you, Chris and Mindbomb.
Shout out Chris at Mindbomb. They have an online store too, right?
Yeah. Check them out.
So if you're listening, you can go check them out.
Mindbombrecords.ca.
What else is inspiring you these days? So you're jamming. You're gonna think about recording some stuff. You're doing visual art.
Yeah, I like to paint a lot these days. I always get the pen and the markers out and the pencil crayons and the construction paper and
just see what happens.
Just anything, any medium I can find, something easy to lug around in a backpack.
Yep.
And then I'll just be doodling, drawing, making a painting, grabbing some birch bark, drawing on that, painting that.
No, that's cool.
Collecting rocks, making them in weird formations, and then
just
having
see what
ideas
happens.
of taking that visually and drawing things that are associated. Just getting inspired by nature a lot.
True.
Yeah, it's been nice to get out and enjoy nature.
Yep, especially today. It's like 16, 18 degrees in November.
I want to spend more time outside today.
It's awesome.
After we're done here, I plan on soaking up some rays.
Yep, before that snow hits. What about lyrics? Do you ever write lyrics, or did you guys share the lyrical abilities in Alexis, or did one guy write it?
I was never one in my earlier years to pay a lot of attention to song lyrics. I will admit, but that has changed over time. I don't write lyrics, but I do write down thoughts and such things in, I guess, journals.
Yeah. Do you ever do dream journals?
No.
No?
No.
I recommend it. Yeah, it's weird because when you start to write them down...
When I do remember my dreams, they're sometimes very strange, or parts of them are just weird, and I don't know what they connect with, so that would be...
I swear, if you write them down, I feel like it changes your dreams. Like, it has like a recursive effect, or whatever you call it, where, you start to, like, focus on them more, and it's
I have scraps of paper with just, like, maybe it might be a song lyric, or a piece of poetry, or just a thought. I have a lot of things like that on random pages.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Notes on my phone. Just
so who did write the lyrics then? Was it shared in the band, kind of?
Wade would write his lyrics that he sang. George would always write his. And Dallas would write his own, as far as the earlier albums that I played on.
And then I guess there's got to be a lot of, like, hey, maybe this part should go here, that part should go there, or is it just, hey, just wing it?
The vocalists together would generally give each other... like some ideas and bounce them off each other. But it was always a group atmosphere of writing our songs. Yeah. For the most part, we would all be in the same room together, piecing our parts together, and then sometimes I think as not being a vocalist or the writer for lyrics, those might have came later as well, and just kind of formed over time.
Right.
As per the individual, and maybe the lyrics changed slightly as the writing process and were finalized. It could have been finite to start. Or, like, my drum beats always evolved a little bit as we wrote the songs.
Right, that makes sense.
That's what I always found interesting and I enjoy about music, is not playing it the exact same way 100% every time, which is just my way of doing it. I'm going to play important parts of the song exactly, because that's how I feel they should be played, and as a group we would discuss that. But little slight changes, different fill here or there. I think that's what makes it interesting for live music, for being able to express yourself in that way. But some people don't understand that or get it, and then they tend to think, or might want to call you out on messing up.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of embarrassing, and in a way, because you don't have a way to explain yourself, and then if it's on a large platform,
yeah, they're
in
like,
front of a lot of people,
did you just screw up the song? Like, you don't remember how the song goes, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna just recall an event where something like that happened, and it was tough to deal with at the time, because there's no way to tell a large amount of people across the country that, hey, I didn't play that part the same way as the album because I was improvising.
Right.
I did not.
So this was an incident where people noticed, and it was a thing?
Yeah, it was a thing.
Huh.
Back years ago at a concert I played, there was an article written, and it called me out specifically for messing up a certain amount of times.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it was very strange, and just damaging to, I mean, I'm not going to say, it didn't hurt me to a point of having to seek out this person and
sure, but it's a mischaracterization of what your experience was and what you were trying to convey.
Yeah, I feel like the article written about us should maybe be talking about the experience of the people playing and what, like, the fun everyone was having at the show. I believe there was an incident with the crowd and someone getting hurt at that show too, and we stopped playing as well.
Too much moshing?
Yeah, someone was getting injured or something happened out there. It was a large concert, and I do believe we had to stop for a moment to make sure people were safe and taken care of. So if that was part of messing up, then sorry.
We're sorry. We hope whoever you are that got hurt is out there doing fine.
Yeah.
We apologize. I apologize on behalf of Alexisonfire.
We don't want anyone to get hurt at a show ever, anywhere.
What's the deal with mosh pits? Because I used to participate in a couple small ones when I first was getting into the heavier music, but
I don't know. They're fun to bash around and just feel the music.
But there's etiquette, right?
Yes.
There's etiquette.
Yes.
And
because to be honest, just a year and a half ago, I had the greatest time of my life at a concert, seeing the band Pup live in London, Ontario, at Rum Runners, which is a small venue attached to the London Music Hall, and it was incredible. The atmosphere, the energy, the musicianship, the crowd, the bonding of people watching. It was great. Spent the whole time in the mosh pit, crowd surfed. I just, made eye contact with people in the pit, bouncing off each other, sweating, holding hands, laughing, high fives, lifting each other up. Mm-hmm. And it was just like a bonding of people melding in the room, just to a glorious time. It was great. And that was safe and fun, and everyone had a good time, and there was no security. And there was about, I'd say, I don't know, whatever the venue capacity is, 400, 500, 250. It was perfect. But then you can get people going off aggressively and unsafely. Any type of music.
You're not supposed to throw bows and throw like you're not supposed to swing.
No,
and stuff.
I don't know the rules exactly, and hardcore has some.
There could be different types of mosh, right?
Yeah, so some people want to go in there to hurt other people, and that's ridiculous. But
it sounds ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, when you see these videos of it, or if you see it at a concert, you're moshing. You're not really. Yeah. It's not like a fist fight.
No. I was at the very front of a concert at the Opera House years ago to see the band Anti-Flag, who was one of my favorite punk bands at the time. And the music started, and we were right at the barricade, and the barricade fell over, and we got crushed.
That is dangerous. That shit is
14.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I was little, and I was definitely.
And you were under the barrier.
A moment.
Somebody saved your life.
Yeah, in between the barrier, me, and then more people piling up. So they stopped the music. We all got pulled up right away. No one was hurt, but that could have been terrible. So
I always think about the Hillsborough incident, that soccer incident in the UK. There's a terrible, well, a great documentary on a terrible situation, but I had never heard of that before, and then I watched the documentary on it, and it's like, it was just bad layout of a soccer stadium and bad coordination of the security and whatnot, and people started jumping the turnstile to get in, and many people died, lawsuits over years and all this stuff, and it's one of the most tragic things. I mean, obviously there's different levels of tragedy and different ways to die in that, but getting crushed just from other people in your proximity at a large event is one of the worst things.
No one can look after one another at all. They're just looking out for themselves.
Yeah, and some of them were trying to help each other, but because they're trapped in a sea of people,
they're
being pushed one way and the other, and that's scary stuff, man.
Yeah,
really scary stuff. So
be safe.
Be safe out there. Don't let too many people into your venue, you know?
Well, you definitely won't be able to right now.
Not right now, you can't, no.
Unfortunately.
So when you guys were first starting in that, what were some of the biggest like moments where you were like, we got something special here, like this is picking up, or you know, this is amazing, I didn't expect this, those kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I think just every time we'd play somewhere
where it was bigger and bigger,
and we'd return and it would be bigger, and more people would be interested, or even going there for the first time and there's people who've already heard and are interested from message boards, word of mouth around the music scene in the province and across the country at that time. Yeah, that was really, really cool. So just the snowball effect of everything, and just how it just picked up and picked up. Yeah.
Did you get nervous? Were you nervous for stage fright or any of that when you first?
Not really. No.
You just
just
give her.
Try not to think about it.
Yeah.
Just think about going out there having fun. You're doing the same thing as when you're practicing.
Yeah.
Just be prepared, and then you don't need to be nervous.
What about?
I think I'd be nervous if I wasn't prepared on a song, because I do recall.
True, if it's like
I do recall not wanting to play a newer song at one point when I felt I didn't know it yet, and we did play it, and I did mess up. So I mean, hey, you can call me out on that one. I messed up. I completely messed up on that song.
Yeah. Huh.
But I mean, it was fun still. Even if people noticed, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We gave her. We kept on going. We stopped for a moment.
What about
that's slightly embarrassing.
What about drummer stamina? Did you ever feel? Are you better than others? Do you think? Did you ever get tired from?
Yeah. But you
at first doing the bigger shows and all that.
Gotta keep going. Yeah.
Keep going. Stay hydrated.
Yep.
All those things.
Just stretch, practice and stretch. Really work yourself up a good hour before your show. Just
now for drumming, is it?
At least
not so much.
an hour.
Is it fingers? Is it wrists? Is it the whole arm? Is it your whole body? Your core?
You want to? Yeah, it's everything.
Everything.
But, yeah, it's.
Would you do any of the? Do you got to do like any of the hand exercises?
Yeah. I like using those those grips.
Yep.
Sometimes to strengthen my thumbs and my hand muscles.
What happens when you lose a drumstick when you're playing? You got one in your back pocket, like Garth. You got 5 in your back pocket?
I like to stick them in a few places around the kit.
Or like
grab one here,
a sheath with the arrows in it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Oh, that would be cool.
That's for just taking them and whipping them.
Yeah.
Don't get hit in the eye by a flying drumstick. Just catch it.
Is flying drums, do you throw drumsticks at the crowd as a gift sometimes, or is that too dangerous? You could do it underhand.
Years ago, I probably threw the odd drumstick.
Well, people love that,
fun.
Right?
Yeah, I'd love to get drumsticks from my favorite drummers when I go see them play, or try to. I don't even.
Or even a broken one could be worth even more.
If I have any, or if I ever did, but I'd always want to.
For sure.
I do recall at one show, I don't remember where. This is many moons ago. The lights went on, and I think at around the same time I'd thrown a stick in the air. And the lights went on, and I saw the stick hit a person in the back of the head who was not looking, and I felt terrible, and I think I just turned and ran and hid behind the stage because I was so shocked and embarrassed. They weren't injured; they were okay. I do know they were looked after, but
I guess if the sticks aren't too heavy, I was
trying to give a gift to the crowd, and
didn't quite work out.
My apologies.
Now, drumsticks, doesn't matter what you're working with, right? Is there,
personal preference?
Yeah,
I like a 747 Rock.
Okay. This is a brand?
Hickory. I like ProMark.
So the type of wood matters.
It does matter.
Weight.
I recently picked up a pair of the natural finish just to try out the difference for the grip, because sometimes sweaty, sticky.
True.
Sticks,
so I guess it matters. Yeah,
you can do
you
a
can
bunch
wrap
of
them.
different things.
True.
Yeah, it's a nice stick wrap.
What about
you
the
can find.
shellac or the finish? That matters too.
Yeah, the natural ones. I'm gonna see if they're a little easier to hold on to. With
Right.
the sweaty hands.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've got the only other brushes I know. They got the metal, those kind of jazzy brushes.
Some brushes.
I don't think Alexis ever. You guys didn't have to use those,
I
right?
didn't use brushes. I don't believe.
Because you didn't.
Actually, there was brushes. No brushes.
No brushes.
There's I got some broomsticks at home.
Oh.
Cromark makes an interesting broomstick. They are made out of
Like a small broom, almost.
It looks like a small broom, and it's made by a family of broom makers.
Wow.
These sticks are fashioned from
old dead brooms.
something old.
It's very cool.
They're very interesting sound. They're very thick. They have that I don't know, that fat broomy
warm
sound. I don't know how to describe
cool.
it. It's cool. It's weird. Applied applications.
True.
Yeah.
What about, did you guys ever face, like, record execs and different studio people trying to cramp your style, or you guys are trying to make an album or express yourself and they're trying to tell you what to do and that kind of thing? Or did you have a lot of free range? And
in my time with the band, we worked with people that allowed us to be creative and have our own vision.
So you got lucky that way.
Yeah.
You never faced too many big roadblocks.
No.
It sounds like you didn't, because you guys
We
were
had some
able
really
to
wonderful
create
people
that stuff.
that we worked with making videos, making albums. I guess.
Yeah, talk about some of the videos, because early on, I remember that was another cool aspect of it, because we, as young kids, we knew about you guys, and then we heard you guys were getting bigger, and then we started to see the music videos, and that was like, wow, really cool, they're on our TV now.
We were blessed with the Much Music Video Fact grants that the government offers. Video Fact is phenomenal. It helped us immensely at getting our music out there. So
did you have to apply directly, or did you have someone apply for you?
People who worked with the band.
True. Who knew what they were doing, because those can be pretty finicky. The applications.
I never tried myself. I know it's a lot of work, but if you can fill it out properly and do a good job, then you can definitely get a lot of help.
So that provided funding, partial funding, I guess, for music videos?
Yeah, a lot of the funding, actually.
Right.
And we had some great people who came up with some ideas and wanted to work with us. In my time with Alexis, Mr. Mark Ricciardelli was our director, and he did some awesome videos. I believe he kept working with the band after, but I just had a great time with him, and he was such a great guy to work with.
Yeah, some of those first ones were really cool visually.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had the one, I forget which title it was for now, where you had the different gangs.
Yes,
bowling alley,
that was for Water Wings.
Water Wings, yeah. Yeah, that was second album or first album?
First album.
Okay, first album, yeah.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, everybody dug that one. It was kind of unique at the time and just kind of funny.
We always brought our friends into the videos, so it's all friends of ours.
Yeah, and I know everybody likes the first album cover too. Was that shot at Ferndale? Okay, I always wondered which school that was shot at. And the girls on the cover are just friends, or who?
It was girlfriends at the time.
Yeah, just
girlfriend, friend. And I don't recall what school uniforms they're wearing.
Right, that's an interesting piece of trivia. Would it have been a Ferndale uniform, or would it have been like a
Ferndale? I believe
high school.
Ferndale is a public school.
And they were 7 and 8, grade 7 and 8, right?
So it wasn't Catholic either, and the uniforms were probably Dennis Morris and St. Francis.
True. That's funny. Yeah. Two different high schools fighting each other in the field of a different school.
Well, do you know why we used that album cover?
No.
Because someone early on, I believe it was maybe one of us, described our music, I believe it was George, described our music as sounding like two Catholic schoolgirls in mid-knife fight.
Yes, okay, I did read that before, yeah.
That's where that
So that was personifying the sound of the tunes.
It was fun. We all got together over at our friend Chuck Leach's house in Grimsby, and he put together the layout and design of the album. We chose the font, we wrote out all our lyrics and our thank yous, and I remember hanging out with his little sugar flyers, those little squirrel type things that you can get as pets. I think they're called sugar
No,
flyers.
never heard of them.
Yeah, they're really tiny little rodents that.
Oh,
Sugar gliders. That's what they're called.
weird. I'm
Sugar
gonna have to
gliders.
Google that.
They're really cute. They're cool. Remember hanging out with those guys and putting together
They
the
didn't
album?
make the album cover, eh?
They were
not
a little
even the
bit.
booklet.
They didn't come out. They were sleeping. We hung out though. We chilled.
True.
But,
Now, for the lyrics, did you? I forget. Back then, would you have had like a lyric booklet inside the CD?
Yeah.
All CDs had that back then. Because do they anymore? Because I don't buy CDs anymore, so I don't really know. But most of them back then had them. Right?
The artist, right? I would always love to get
Yeah.
something inside the CD more than just a sheet of paper that slipped out. I'd like to have it open up and have some information, pictures.
For sure.
But
me
I
too.
love vinyl now more than ever because of the ability to have a large photo and more to
exactly.
look at. So that's why
The text doesn't have to be
That's one of the reasons I
0.6
started
points.
collecting vinyl. Sounds great, and you can have great big art. So-
Yeah.
And I still like to have a CD of something if there's no vinyl. I'll get a physical copy. I'll buy the CD. I recently, buy CDs still. I think they're great.
Yeah, it's still something cool about them for
some
sure.
may argue, but I'm not getting rid of my CD collection. That will be known.
It definitely it is weird with the digital age.
I'll pack them up. I'll probably display them nicely when I have some good shelf space.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
They've all come down.
That's cool. It's cool to keep a collection and have the album artwork and all that stuff. And you kind of, it's physical. You know where it is.
And some of them tell a story. I have some like local CDs that you definitely can't find that music anywhere other than the albums that I have.
Right.
From people burning them themselves, never making it onto the internet. What was there back then? MySpace, and you might have a Bandcamp page, which is amazing. I love Bandcamp. Great way for finding out new music and putting your music out there on your own.
Yep.
But yeah, I love CDs. That's just where I'm going with that.
That's cool. No, I know. It's funny, like, speaking of Niagara region, I know for a fact there's, like, people that have, like, giant file folders from these old bands that probably the band members don't even have anymore. Like, videos of shows and all the album covers. And they would just save that stuff. Yeah. Just because they love the band so much, whatever band it might be.
That's cool that that's out there.
Definitely those guys are out there.
All the bootleg stuff.
Yep. Wow. So, what was your favorite album that you got to work with? Did you like the first or the second album better, or was this
both for different reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the sound change from throughout the first two albums? Because it was generally similar on the first and the second album.
Yeah, we were obviously very young for the first album, and we just literally those were a lot of the first songs we wrote as a band.
So
and given the second album too, we just kept on flowing, and it's kind of just an evolution of where things went. There was an EP in between the two where we released 3 songs that we recorded in the meantime. 2 of those, I believe, transitioned onto the album Watch Out. So it was just an evolution of writing, just becoming more mature as musicians.
How were the different audiences? How did they perceive you, like in the United States versus Canada, or what about Europe and Asia? Like, did you guys end up touring all over the world?
Yeah, I had a chance to do a lot of touring internationally, over in the States a lot. That was tough because it's a very, very oversaturated market for that style of music, I found.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing the same thing.
Now, where would those bands be? Seattle, different places like that, maybe,
East
or
Coast
just all
had a
over?
ton, all over.
Yeah.
But there were a lot more bands in America doing the emo, screamo, heavy, soft type, singing, screaming, aggressive, quiet kind of music thing that we were doing as well. But everyone, a lot of us were influenced by each other. It was a good scene. It was fun to be a part of that and to meet new bands and play with them and to travel like that. I guess in the UK, we were very heavily received by fans over there right away, which was really cool. Our album was put out and we toured there, and people knew us right away, which is amazing.
There's a bit of that Canada-UK connection as well, right? Like Australia, even with bands, or like they like Drake a lot over there, for example, and Drake likes a lot of their stuff, and that crossed the pond, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, we got along really well in Australia too. Those fans were amazing. Japan, I was able to go and play in Japan. That was an incredible
Yeah,
experience.
Japan's very receptive to
Oh, they loved us.
music from elsewhere.
They absolutely loved us. And
yeah, they like
couldn't
North
get
American
enough of-
culture, a lot of aspects of it,
Yeah.
and the music and the art and that kind of thing. And we, vice versa, we like a lot of their
Yeah.
stuff, anime and all that. And Japan's a very cool, unique
It was, yeah,
Asian
that was
nation.
a great time playing in Japan.
Tokyo or
We were in Tokyo. I spent I believe it was 3 or 4 days there, and we played one show. Unfortunately, only one.
did you ever go back or just that?
I
one?
didn't get a chance to go back. The band has been since, I believe.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah,
they had,
that's so cool, man.
Some good shows. Going
Was
on
it a
there.
big show?
It was only 500 capacity club,
Oh,
and it sold out. And we were the only band playing, and we had, I believe, like an hour and a bit set or something, and literally all the songs we knew how to play almost fit the time slot for us to play, and they wanted more, and we were done, so we played the first song of our set as the last song of our set. Opened and closed with accidents.
I know,
There you
that's
go.
cool.
It was really fun. It was incredible. I believe that show is online. It was filmed, and it was included as a bonus disc when they re-released the Watch Out album, I think, in
Okay.
Japan.
Huh, that's cool.
So, yeah, you can see that show. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What did they mosh? Because
Oh,
a lot.
yeah.
I was
They
gonna
just-
say because
they went crazy.
I
They
think
went
it's Japan
crazy.
where they say certain things they don't. They're very more reserved, and they might not clap for certain events. Where in other countries you hear a lot
Yeah,
of noise or clapping for, but they got into it.
Had a really crazy fan in Halifax a long time ago. He took out his glass eye and held it up for us. And then after the show, somebody else took off their prosthetic leg and asked us to sign it. And that was also the third show of the day for Alexisonfire in Halifax, that
So-
July day in 2003.
The fake leg, was that the craziest thing you ever signed, or was there other appendages? Or fake
Yeah.
appendages.
Probably the craziest thing was a fake leg. That was cool
That's funny.
that he wanted that. It was a great audience, great crowd in Halifax that night. That was the 19 plus show, and earlier in the day we had so many people wanting to come see us at a small cafe that we played one show and had the whole audience leave, and the next set of people come in and play a show for them, and just played slightly shorter sets in order to accommodate 2 sets of people. And that concert also made its way onto the internet that I found years later, and it's one of my favorite shows to watch of Alexisonfire.
Oh, that's
Just
so
such,
cool.
such a cool atmosphere, and I feel that we played really well, and the kids just went totally nuts, and it's a great memory. So
Nice.
the 3 show day out in Halifax, and we had our great friends This Day Forward on tour with us. They were a band from Philadelphia that we became friends with. They were also on Equal Vision Records, which was our American record label.
Okay.
So we did a tour with them across the east coast of Canada, and it was just a great old time.
So how does that work? What are the logistics there of having a record label in Canada and then you have a different record label that represents you in another country? Is that confusing or strange at all, or is it?
For us, that was the reasoning is because the Canadian label licensed out the music to other countries.
So they had a relationship with that label.
Yeah, due to the
sort
recording
of like a
contract.
sister label or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
They treated us fantastically.
Cool.
All the record labels that put out our CDs and
Nice,
and-
because you always
and
hear negative
vinyls.
things from artists about labels, especially in the hip hop world.
It's
like a meme about.
Yeah, I guess it's tough when you're not treated well.
Sure.
So we had some really wonderful people that we worked with.
Or just it's
Yeah.
a lot of artists signing bad contracts,
Yeah.
not knowing enough, or whatever
Yeah,
it
you
is.
just want to get your music out there that you don't know enough, or maybe
Mhm.
you have a bad lawyer, or you just have
The lawyer's
you have
trying to
bad
get more out of it
guidance,
than you, or whatever.
you don't have the right guidance or the
Yeah.
knowledge at that point, and a lot of people sign bad deals, and people steal their money.
True. The good thing about that these
Sucks.
days is there are a lot of people on YouTube that can give the advice to the newer generation and make sure they don't
Ask
get screwed.
questions,
And,
yeah.
yeah.
Protect your music; it's yours.
What other advice do you have for younger musicians out there that are trying to make it or trying to be creative and that? Just have fun?
Have fun.
Have fun.
Keep to it. You're not gonna. If you practice, you're not gonna become amazing. And even if you're not amazing, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Like,
So you
don't-
could become
yeah.
amazing. So you're saying if someone is not amazing and they keep practicing, they could be amazing?
Everybody is
Potentially.
amazing. I'm just saying that if you don't think you're the best at your craft, don't worry about that. You don't have to be the best.
Right.
You're going to put your spin on it. You're going to make it amazing. You are amazing. Everyone is going to do amazing things. You just have to put your mind, heart, and soul to it, and just keep at it.
Man.
I'm still working on a lot of things out there, so.
It's 2020. We're trying to be positive here. We're ending this year on a good note. We got Mr. Joe Biden there down our neighbors to the south. And we wish Mr. Joe Biden all the best. In fact, we wish Mr. Trump all the best in his exit. You know, and we covered a lot of ground. Man, I want to thank you for joining me on the show. It's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
It was pretty
for
cool to
having me.
meet you more recently, and now that we're neighbors, we could share, you know, pantry items, exchange sugars and salts or whatever we might need.
Sometimes you don't have that half a cup of sugar. You're making those cookies.
You just need that, and I'll just walk over and knock on your fence and get some, you know?
Thank you. Thank you in advance.
Cool, man. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Check out Alexisonfire. You know, Jesse may not be part of the band anymore, but you can still check them out. And then if Jesse makes any new bands, we'll let you guys know. And you can check that out, too.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
It's coming.
Bye, guys. See you later.